Hello there, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Samantha. I don't know what that was. Hi, my name is Samantha, and this is my channel where I talk all about books. And today, I'm coming to you with a book haul. I don't know what's going on with my energy today. We didn't sleep very well last night, and it shows. We're very caffeinated. I don't know why I'm saying we're. It's just me. I'm very caffeinated, I'm very tired, but I gotta get stuff filmed today. So we're powering through, we're embracing the weird energy, and we're just gonna see how this turns out. I'm gonna hate editing it, I know. Anyway, as I said, today I'm coming to you with a book haul. This is going to be all the books that I've bought so far in 2020. I have not bought that many books, which I'm very proud of myself about. Probably since about the end of 2018. I really slowed down on my book buying because I went to university and I just, had to use my money on other things instead of just books, which is what I did when I first started my channel when I was 15. Any bit of money I had went towards books, pretty much. Since starting university 3 years ago, I just don't buy books at the same rate, which is really good because it actually stresses me out a lot to have a really large physical TBR. I don't really care about digital TBR, like I have so many unread ebooks, but I just forget about them because I can't see them. So yes, I've been pretty good about not buying a ton of books. Also, I was away in Mexico, as you might know, and in case you're new here and you don't know, I was doing my year abroad in Mexico, which ended up being 9 months abroad. So yes, I was studying abroad and I came back in March, and so these are all the books that I've acquired since March. And now I've been back for a couple months. I've been buying a few books here and there, and it's just kind of starting to add up again. I really want to get my physical TBR down to 30 books by the end of this year. So I'm now doing read 5 before you buy. And when I did this in the past, I totally cheated. I was just like, I just need to read 5 books. Any books at all will count, and then I can buy a book. But I'm now being serious about it, and I have to read 5 books from my physical TBR before I can buy another book. With that being said, I do have a book on the way, and I'm not counting that in the read 5 before you buy because I don't want to. But in exciting news, I only have to read 2 more physical books before I can buy another one, and I'm very excited because I know exactly what book I'm going to buy. It's going to be Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I need it. Everyone is raving about it, and I want it. As soon as I finish 2 more books, I am buying that. Also, as I said, I'm waiting for a book to arrive, so I might have to edit that clip in. But for now, this is a lot of rambling. Let's get on with the books. The first book that I bought this year was a pre-order, and I just had to because I am trash for this author. It's Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I am Shadowhunter trash, essentially. If you don't know, I was actually the original creator of the TMI versus TID tag back in 2014. Please don't watch the video, it is terrible. And I do actually plan on doing the updated version that a lot of people have done where the TMI versus TID versus TDA. By the way, I am very appreciative whenever I find anyone who's done my tag. I'm like, that's my tag. I do fairly frequently do a little search and get caught up. I do try and watch all of them, but I actually haven't done that in quite a while, and I should definitely do a catch up on that. Anyway, regardless, that's a ramble. This is the first book in her new trilogy, The Last Hours, which takes place after the Infernal Devices, but before the Mortal Instruments, like a long time before the Mortal Instruments. And it follows some of the children from the couples in the Infernal Devices. So yeah, I really want to get to this. However, I really want to reread the Infernal Devices first because it's been 6 years since I read that series. And so yeah, I really want to refresh my memory before I read this one. I'm actually currently listening to the Ghosts of the Shadow Market novella collection because I thought I had to read that before I read this. You don't. You definitely don't. Regardless, I'm very excited to get to this. Also, it's so pretty. I'm always behind on the Shadowhunter Chronicles, so I really need to get on it. I also still need to read the Red Skulls of Magic, which is the series about Magnus Bane, who I adore. I still haven't read that. So yeah, I have a lot of catching up to do. Well, I don't really. I'm only behind on 2 books, but yes, I plan to get caught up at some point, hopefully before the end of this year, but I really don't know because I have to reread The Infernal Devices, which is 3 books, and it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The next book that I bought because I heard Christine, I think, from Poem Mad Books talking about this, and it just sounded cute and fun, and I bought it used on Amazon. I actually bought the used paperback version and got sent the hardcover, which was kind of cool. I already read this in May, and that was Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. I will link my wrap-up where I talked about this in the card if you want to know my thoughts on it. But this is a book that follows our main character, Emma, and Emma is not doing too well at her job, and she is not super in love with the guy that she's dating, and she's on a plane one day sitting next to this random guy, and the plane hits some turbulence and she's terrified, and when she gets nervous or scared she just starts spilling out all of these little secrets, and then it turns out that that guy is her boss, and it goes from there. It was a fun time. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was just kind of middle of the road. But yeah, this is not a wrap up. This is a haul. So yeah, I did also buy this. I will probably be unhauling this at some point because it's not that's that special to me. It's quite pretty underneath. It's a really nice like raspberry color. I do really like it without the dust jacket. Like the dust jacket is nothing special. Like it's kind of ugly actually. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. I am planning on moving away from this country at some point. I live in the UK and I don't love it here at all. So I do plan to move at some point, and yeah, that's another reason why I'm not buying a ton of books at the moment, is because I'm not planning to stay here forever. So yeah, this might not stay with me for very long, but I have it and I bought it this year, so we're hauling it. The next book that I bought is one that I've also already read, and that was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This book is a YA mystery thriller which follows our main character Pippa. In the small town where Pippa lives, about 5 years ago, a girl went missing and is presumed dead, and everyone is convinced that Sal Singh murdered this girl, Andy Bell. So Pippa decides to do her final project on this murder and to reopen the case and see what happened, because she doesn't believe that Sal Singh murdered her. And yes, that's what this book is about. I really enjoyed this one. It was very fun. Apparently they changed the setting of this and made it in like the south of the US in the American version, so I find that very, very odd. But yeah, this is supposed to be set in a small town in the UK, but yeah, whatever, that's not important. Another one that I've also read, I'm sorry, this is not supposed to be a wrap-up at all, but that was Nevermoor by Jessica Townsend. This is the first book in the Trials of Morgan Crow trilogy. This is a middle grade fantasy series about the main character Morgan, and she was basically born on this cursed day, and so everyone believes that on her 11th birthday she's going to die, but just before midnight she is taken away by this man called Jupiter North and given the opportunity to join the Wondrous Society, and she has to go through some trials, and I love books with trials. It's one of my favorite tropes. And yeah, it was just a really fun, fantastical read. I definitely plan on picking up the sequel and the final book, but the final book comes out in October, so hopefully I've read enough books by then that I can pick up the second and third book and finish off this trilogy. The next book that I bought is one that I'm very excited about, but I haven't actually picked it up yet, and that is Gods of Jaden Shadow by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This is a historical fantasy set in Mexico, and as I already said, I did my year abroad in Mexico, so Mexico has a very big piece of my heart. I will always love it there. So I'm very, very excited to read this as it explores Mayan beliefs. I believe it's set in the 1920s in Mexico, and I just think it's going to be a really fun and quick read. I've heard pretty good things about this, so I'm very excited to get to it at some point. How many times am I going to say I'm very excited to get to it in this video? So many times. The next book that I bought is one that I also have already read, and that was The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I'm not going to talk about this one a lot because I think everyone knows that this is the prequel to The Hunger Games, and it's about President Snow, and yes, that's all you need to know. It's nothing like the original trilogy. It's very, very different, but I enjoyed it. That's that. The next one I have is one that I'm very excited to get to. Oh my god, I hate saying that every time I do a book haul, but honestly, that's what I'm very excited to read them. The next book I have is Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. I always want to call this The Opposite of Always, but there's no the. It's just Opposite of Always. This book follows our main characters, Jack and Kate. They meet at a party and they fall in love, but 6 months later, Kate dies, and then Jack is sent back in time to the point that they met. And I think that there's quite a bit of jumping back in the timeline to try and ensure that Kate doesn't die, I believe, but I'm not entirely sure because I haven't read it yet. And I don't like to know things about my books before I read them. I just want to know a few things about it and then nothing more, and just go into it and experience it, you know? I just want to hear the buzzwords. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this one at some point. Also, the cover is so pretty. I'm very obsessed with yellow at the moment, and I think the yellow and the like greeny blue turquoise, that's probably the best word for it, I think it works really well together. I love it. The next one that I have is one that I've also already read, but this is the last one that I've already read, and that was Clapping You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This is Elizabeth Acevedo's third book, and it's the second one I've read by her. This came out in May, I believe, and a lot of people have been talking about it. If you don't know what it's about, it follows our main characters, Camino and Yahaira. Camino lives in the Dominican Republic, and Yahaira lives in New York, and they are sisters, but they don't actually know that the other one exists until their father dies in a plane crash, and then they are brought together through that, and just deals with grief and the development of the relationships, and it's just such a beautiful story, and I loved it so much. But yeah, I would highly recommend this. Also, it's told in verse, so it's a very quick read but very impactful, and just 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's beautifully written, just amazing. I love it so much. The next two books that I bought are both non-fiction books, which I bought to further my anti-racism education as I'm trying to educate myself around this topic, and so those were White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo and So You Want to Talk About Race by Ijeoma Oluo. I plan to get to these pretty soon. And then the final two books I bought during the Blackout Publishing Week, and so I decided to pick up 2 books for that. And so the first one I bought was Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. I picked up this book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm very, very excited. I really don't know very much about it. All I know is that it's about our main character Alice, who is biromantic and asexual, and I think she comes out to her girlfriend as asexual, and then her girlfriend breaks up with her, and then she gets into a different relationship, I believe. I haven't really read a book with a main character who's asexual before, and so I'm very excited to do so. Also, I've had my eye on this for such a long time. I love the cover so much. I really need to get to this soon. And finally, this is like one of the books I'm most excited for, and that is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This came out in July in the UK. It did come out in June in the US, and everyone was talking about it, and I was like, I really need that book to come out in the UK, and it finally did. I pre-ordered it during the Blackout Publishing Week so that it would arrive on release date, and it did, and I'm so excited to get to it. I haven't yet. It sounds so cute and so fun. It's basically about our main character, Liz. Liz really wants to go to this college, but she can only go if she gets a scholarship. Basically, in her school, if you become prom queen, you get a scholarship. So she is running to be prom queen, and then there's another girl who's running against her, and then they fall in love, and I'm so excited. Oh my god. I've heard it's so cute and so fun. A little bit high school drama, but like, that's fine. High school is in my past. I can read about other characters having to deal with that. I said in the video that I was waiting on this book to arrive, and it arrived. This is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. As you can see, I am so excited to read this. This is the last book that I bought. I don't really know what it's about. Well, I do kind of, but not well enough to synopsize, which is honestly the theme of this entire video. Something I do know about this book is that apparently the first, like, I think 100 pages are told in second person, which intimidates me. I've also heard that you have to get through the first 100 pages to actually get into it, and like in the beginning you don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm really excited to read everything that N.K. Jemisin has written, pretty much. Well, as long as I like this. I caved and bought this when I shouldn't have, because I was supposed to be doing read 5 before you buy, but I'm not counting it in my read 5 before you buy because I needed it, and I tweeted that I was thinking of buying it, and Elena said that I should just do it, and so I fully blame Elena for this. It's all her fault. And then, as I said, as soon as I've read some more books, I'm going to be buying Get a Life Chloe Brown because everyone's talking about it, and I need it in my hands, I need it in my life. But for now, these are all of the books that I've bought in 2020. It seems like a lot when I hold it like this. Like, that's a lot more than I was anticipating. Oh my god, this is killing me. So yes, those are all the books that I've bought so far in the year. I'm really not planning to buy a lot of books for the rest of the year, especially because I'm going back to university and I'm going to have bills that I gotta pay. There's probably not going to be a book haul for a while, but I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know what books you've bought recently, or if you've read any of the books I mentioned. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what I need to get to as soon as humanly possible, and I will try. But yes, that is all I have for this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below, and I post videos on Fridays, so I will see you next Friday. Bye! But yes, the next book that I read is one that I'm not read. Oh no, Mildred. But I know, oh my god, the sun is killing me. But yes. Obviously, my neighbors choose this time to be noisy.